We don't have the thing we found was N20 south was 5 1/4.
It was 5 1/4, yeah.
Which we're doing that
We're
now.
addressing that now. So.
Yeah. But we probably wouldn't address that one if it wasn't for D59 being right there, you know, tying them together, you know. But like I said, you know, I had him start looking up to see what the plans show for floor thickness, so that if there was any others out there that are shallow, we can, or appear to be shallow on the plans, we'd probably go core them just to make sure what the plan shows and what's there are the same thing. Because if they had done, right now all the plans we've got are plans for where the projects were let as a construction project. Like that work we did on M35, right? Got the right road. That year, 2002, that was M35, wasn't it?
The west.
That we did the overlay on. There's no.
Where that broke out.
Okay.
There was no construction plans.
Yes.
We did that as a maintenance project because we came up and we had to do something quick. There's no plans for that, so when you go back and look at the history, it doesn't show up as being done. So when 20 years from now, somebody looked at that road, they'd add up what was historically what it shows as being there, and they'd say, how can it only be that thick?
Yeah.
How can it have been so long since we did something? Well, there's no history of the 2002 in the
So how do you take care of that then?
Well, I told Chris we needed to put a note on the, first of all, pull out the last, that was overlaid in
2002.
But the plan before that was 80,
I don't remember.
whatever the last plan was we had, we need to go in there and put a note on that set of plans that, you know, that there was another 1.5 inches put on in 2002.
You sure it's 2002? That was, I was thinking it was at least 2003.
That was the first year I started.
Really?
And when I started, we were on M43.
And I was thinking it was 2003-ish, or maybe even as close as 2004, because we had some, you know, it just broke up just right now, and we had to decide what to do.
Yeah.
But we're reviewing the maintenance projects too, just to make sure we cover these.
The history on the maintenance side isn't near as documented as what is a construction project is. Because for a construction project, you got to draw a set of plans, you got to have a letting, you know, you've got all the contract documents and all that other stuff. So that's fairly well documented. But anything we've done as a maintenance project, unless, like I told Chris, we need to go back and make sure that any that we're aware of, and we're checking the old files, and anything that anybody can remember, we'll try to chase it down and see if there was some other work done that was done as maintenance that was not, you know, recorded someplace.
That's kind of the only one that I can think of, you know, that we did anything significant that come up so quickly that we had to do something.
Well, there could be some short stretches.
Right, but nothing of that
fall through the loop anyway. But
we, you know, we're in a situation this year with M50. I mean, if we could, you know, and we'll probably still do some checking in this to see whether we can get a contractor here to do something this year. But with all the stimulus money and all the asphalt projects that are being let, I don't think there's any way we're going to get, you know, a contractor in here unless we pay, you know, way over what we should be paying. So we've got, Mike has got the, well, it's a company called the Pavement Doctor coming in tomorrow to he's got a machine that mixes the asphalt and limestone chips, and I'm not sure what else is in there, but it sprays and fills those areas and builds them back up, and hopefully that'll get us through this year. I mean, we did that just north on M50 on the east side. Oh, I don't know, has that been 2 years ago?
Did it stay?
It stayed pretty good.
They are gonna address that when they're here this time too.
Couldn't you just cut that out and pour it full of concrete?
Well, it gets an issue then when you come back to do your next project. You've got, 99% of the roads asphalt, and then you got a concrete piece here on the side. Normally we maybe do a cold in place, although that one's thin enough that we probably won't do a cold in place. But that joint there where you did that would always show up. But that's sort of a last ditch effort.
That stuff doesn't stay. But when we tried to do those patches,
Those
the
Euro patch type deal?
the cold in place things.
Oh, the
Cold mix?
Yeah.
You're talking cold mix?
yeah,
Okay.
you're talking cold mix,
Well,
yeah.
The cold in place process is where it grinds.
They
up
grind,
the
yeah.
top surface
But
to
don't
make
some
cracks.
don't some of the processes also reheat that?
I think there is a process out there that can do that.
So N28 was cold in place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
South of Lytton. And
Right. It was south of Lytton they were for sure because they were grinding on it. I was there when they were grinding.
in north, I can't remember, just the first mile and a half.
Up to Dale Sharn's corner.
Yeah. Because then from there on north, there was PC.
Yeah. It changes at that
Yeah.
intersection.
Yeah. But, typically with cold in place, you grind up the top 3 inches. Well, if we've only got 4.5 there to start with, it's probably not gonna work to do a cold in place on that road because you gotta have enough structure left for the equipment to run on that it's not breaking through the, what's left. So we probably would not look at doing a cold in place on that road. But we're going to try this pavement doctor and see, hopefully the frost is out and the base is, turned up and we'll do the pavement doctor and it'll definitely buy us some time. If we get a chance to get a contractor in here, we might, try to get some prices to hopefully, if not overlay the whole thing, maybe just patch some short areas too, if they're not holding up, because they can do asphalt patches too. But I would prefer to do. So, I guess did Chris talk about the projects that were in the next year?
A little bit.
We just started to push on.
Okay. The first one we got in there is that bridge on M43. And the next thing we got that M50. If we were to do something this year with maintenance, we would do that out of maintenance fund. But I put a project in there for next year in case we don't get anything done maintenance-wise this summer.
And if you are able to wait, which fund category are you?
Farm market.
Farm market.
I'd use farm market. Which brings up sort of another issue with owners. They'll let you borrow ahead in the farm market fund. But with all the, and it had restrictions on that up until a year ago in July, I think it was. They were restricting people because basically part of the problem that happened is people were letting more projects, but the projects were also coming in 20 to 30% over original estimates. And so spending our farm market fund down, the farm market fund actually had to borrow money from the DOT to keep it cash flowing for several months. And so they restricted what was left. They let the fund build back in the last July. They took the restrictions back off. But with the stimulus money this year, it's causing a lot more projects to get let again. And just like well, not ours, but some of the projects that they're letting the stimulus money, the stimulus money is only funded, half, 40, 50, 60, 70% of the projects, so the rest of it's got to come out of farmer market.